in addition to all of that stuff, she's also a graduate student for social work at Stony Brook and works for PBS PC as well. So we're so glad to have them here tonight to talk to us a little bit about taking some small steps to return from the pandemic. So thank you, ladies. Take it away.
Thank you. Well, I don't know. I will speak for myself and say I am extremely excited. We have the new normal and we have a new name. I love how it rolled off of Courtney's mouth. I don't know if it'll be as easy for me. We'll all have to think about how we are going to practice positive community connections. PCC. I'd like to challenge both Glee and Voice to maybe come up with a little ditty, maybe something with a tune, maybe a new song about PCC. I think it will help us all. But I am very excited tonight. We want to talk a little bit about the post-pandemic positive outlook and how we're all going to ease back into our community, and hopefully we'll all be comfortable in our own skin and make our own decisions and advocate for ourselves on ways in which we can do that. And you know, everybody is very, very different. I think going in slowly, I went to visit my friend Barbara McNamara. We met in Panera a few weeks ago, and it was so much fun to see a few folks that I know sitting outside of Panera, deciding how they were going to go in. And I thought that was awesome because that's a small step. They wanted to see, was everyone wearing masks? What was going on? How crowded it was? And I think that we have to remember that for some people during this time, virtually, it was really easy for them. For other people, I know my own brother said to me yesterday, I feel like I like being a hermit. And that made me a little sad. So we've definitely all had challenges. And, you know, we have to say, okay, we have our challenges. How are we going to move forward? Okay, Court, next slide. So we know we all have challenges. And some of the professionals in the field and research back us up on that. You know, research on past pandemics show that people with diverse abilities may experience intensified feelings of loneliness in response to physical distancing, making it even harder to access medical supplies and more challenging as resources become scarce. Okay, Court. Now the good news. I feel that we all pay attention to how we're feeling and our friends and all of our emotions. And that really is good news. Okay, Court. So we really tonight wanted to talk to all of you. So please, as I've said before in the chat, hang in there with us. Courtney and I are going to speak for a little bit, but then what we really want to do is have all of you grab your desserts or your dinner, perhaps, if you haven't eaten yet, and unmute yourself at the end. And we want to hear what your small steps are and what you're looking forward to. We have some guest panelists today. With us, we have Nicholas Pusateri and his mom, Christine, and I'd like to introduce them. And they volunteered just to talk a little bit and answer some questions about their challenges and their experiences. So welcome, Nicholas and Christine.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hello.
How are you? And you're listening to all of this, and I hope that you're saying, oh my goodness, there's so many wonderful things that I want to do, right? What do you think, Nicholas? Anything you were interested in?
In trying out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. I hope one of them is the gardens, because I'm a master gardener. So we're going to have a lot of fun, do some rock painting, some painting with different kinds of soil. It's not just pulling weeds, that's for sure. All right. Okay, Court, let's see what we have. Nicholas actually put together some slides. So thank you, Nicholas. So I'm going to ask you, what was to you the best part of COVID and this pandemic? What worked for you?
What happened? What was good?
Oh, I loved HBO Max and puzzles. Plenty of
Nice.
good things to do like that.
Oh, cool. You know, I'm not familiar with HBO Max. I did a lot of Netflix and binge watching in the beginning. What's HBO Max?
It's like Netflix,
Oh, cool.
Build-
Okay.
except it mostly has WB.
I was going to ask Nicholas, more Warner Brothers and Disney? Because I know that's your kind of stuff. I know it makes you happy.
Yeah. Courtney and I both kind of go in for the Disney. Well, okay, Court. I love that slide. I love that color. So we know that we all had challenges, and we know that we're not all in the same boat. We're all experiencing the same pandemic, but we're all in like different vessels, right? We're all experiencing things so differently. So for you, what was the worst of this pandemic and of COVID-19 and experiencing it?
FaceTime and quarantine.
Hmm.
Okay. So why was quarantine so tough? Who was in your bubble?
My parents.
Okay, and that must have been fun in the beginning, but what happened after months and months and months?
My mother decided that I needed FaceTime.
Okay.
And I was suggesting that next, something even crazier was going to happen.
Oh
was
no,
that?
so what was that?
And never mind.
Oh, maybe you want to have an individual chat about that.
Tell me later, Nicholas.
Why did you find FaceTime difficult and unpleasant? That's interesting because some people hated it and some people loved it. Nicholas, why did you dislike it?
Because it was becoming too dangerous for my technology.
It was draining his battery power, and he felt that that was a problem. However, it would be funny because Nick, you would leave your staff, because he would be FaceTiming his staff, and he would leave his staff like in other rooms. And then, and then the staff would text me like, hey, we're still in the living room. Is Nick here? And of course, I'm working at that time. And I'm like, let me go see. Going down, I'm like, nope, he's not in there, So,
yeah. Well, we definitely all had challenges with FaceTime, and you hear all those funny stories about like the guy who got up and took his computer into the bathroom, and then the woman who forgot that she had her underwear on, and all these interesting things that people had to think about. What's appropriate? What do I look like? Let's be careful here. But I think the plus is we've all gotten so much better at this. I know I have. We definitely have. Christine, what was the most challenging for you and for your family?
I think, my mom had COVID. My sister's an emergency physician at LIJ. So like we had the family dynamic of like, okay, we really can't see grandma other than through a window. My sister really had to social distance because she was exposed frequently. But I think the biggest dynamic was like, all right, we're all eating dinner together. Let's all make dinner. Let's all make lunch. And it's like, it was a lot of quality time together. But sometimes it's hard, and I was pretty thankful that everybody got through it. My daughter was a rock star, and Nicholas was a rock star, but it's hard for everybody. And we see now, like sometimes people hesitate leaving more, like, wait, now I can go out, I can do things. And I think now we're up to that part where it's sort of harder to figure those pieces out.
Yeah, thanks, Christine. And Nicholas, that's what we're talking about tonight. So I really hope that everybody, either you can put it in the chat now, but if you have any questions for Christine or Nicholas, please wait till the end when we all unmute or put them in the chat, And, I'm excited because I got to talk to Christine a few times. She's a new friend and I'm just meeting Nicholas. So, that it makes it easier. And again, this is going to be our new normal. So thanks, guys. We'll see you at the end. Thanks, Nicholas.
Great job.
Okay, so let's talk about some good news. So we are all following the news. And as of this morning, the infection rate on Long Island is continuously going down. As of today, it's below 0.8%, which is just amazing. The other great news is that New York State has adopted new CDC mask guidelines for vaccinated people. And I'm sure it's confusing. Where are we going to be able to wear a mask? Someone said, well, you don't have to in Starbucks, but you're going to have to, in this place. And just like when we started talking, we all need to be really careful that we are finding out before we go somewhere, what are their guidelines? What is Target if I'm going to shop in Target? So it's going to mean a little more research on our part. The good news is also many of our friends and families are now vaccinated. I was amazed. I gave a bridal shower for my daughter, and out of 40 people, 38 of them were vaccinated. So I think that that's something we're going to see as we go on. With the warmer weather, we could enjoy outdoor safe activities, and we can now start taking these small little steps to re-enter our communities. And the thing to remember is we're going to go at our own pace. I have to be honest, I was a little nervous. The first, then we were PBS Community Foundation, but our first PCC, Positive Community Connections, speed friending was in Massapequa a few weeks ago. I was nervous. First of all, I thought I was going to blow away. It was a really windy day over there at Massapequa, Pal. But we were wearing masks. We just weren't quite sure. So we're all in the same boat. Okay, Court. How can we start taking these small little steps? Well, we need to ask ourselves, what are we comfortable with? We need to have open communication. We need to practice asking our friends, family, and DSPs, have you been fully vaccinated? And it's funny because a friend said to me, well, isn't that being obnoxious when we ask people? You have to be an advocate for yourselves. It's okay, I feel, to politely ask someone, are you fully vaccinated? It might not be as polite if someone says no to ask them why, because those things might be very personal. It might be a medical condition, something. So I think that advocating and asking people is a good idea. Ask friends before you see them. Are you going to be wearing a mask? Ask yourself, what type of activities are you comfortable with? And always check first regarding guidelines about where you're going. The other thing is, I don't know if anyone, some of you have been in self-directed services back when we used to call it CSS years ago. And circle meetings at that point, where we weren't talking about as many formal things. I say, let's go back to when you have a circle meeting, maybe advocate and say, could we talk about small steps? Could we have a post-pandemic circle meeting? And maybe with the folks who care about you and your family, you could work out some plans. And feel free, by the way, Courtney and I are going to post the link to this presentation on our Community Connections, our PCC website, and you could print some of the worksheets and hopefully you'll do them with some of your circle of support. Okay, Court. So how do we start taking these small steps? Well, I challenge all of you, and I'm going to do this myself. Challenge yourself to contact 2 to 5 old friends a week just to say hi. And you could do this through social media, maybe a text, a phone call, an email, and more. Maybe there's people you haven't really seen during this pandemic. Go through your contacts. Sometimes contact information for people changes. Don't be discouraged if they don't respond immediately. Look at yearbooks or photo albums. It's great to look back at memories, and then maybe it'll remind you who you haven't seen. Some people who have Facebook will go back in their Facebook and look at memories, or what was I doing 2 years ago today? That happens to me all the time. I'll get a little message, what I was doing, and I think, wow, life was a lot different before the pandemic. Pick up the phone. With all the changing technology, sometimes we forget that phones are used to make phone calls. And then think about doing that rather than maybe, Nicholas, your least favorite thing, right? FaceTime. Okay, Court. So, making new friends. I got a really nice text from someone after our speed friending in Massapequa. And they said they really appreciated getting back out there because they met 2 people that they really thought they had a lot in common with and they'd like to be friends with, but they felt it was safe because they felt that there were those of us there who knew these people. So I think with making new friends, that now we're looking at, it's not virtual, right? We're reopening slowly. We need to be safe. So we could ask ourselves, how do we know these people? Have we met them before? And then think about clubs. What clubs am I a part of? What is there for a reopening plan in those clubs? Courtney told you tonight, Glee is going to be 2 times over the summer. So we need to get that plan. And then how do we get it? Also, virtual or small meetups will still be an option. So I just think that's great news. And so many people have said, I don't think we'll ever go back. That's why there's a new normal, right? We'll never go back to that old normal. I think we will do more virtually. And it was really cool to hear Courtney say, well, now if we have rain, we could do something virtually. We don't have to cancel. So I'm excited about that. I don't know about all of you. Okay, thanks, Courtney. Next slide. So what's going on in our community? We're not going to go to all these links, but again, this will be posted. I think it would be wonderful if you're sitting around one day with somebody from your circle of support or a family member, and you want to go to some of these amazing links. You have our calendar. In my opinion, I would bookmark it. That's what I do on my computer. This way it's easy to find. Don't forget, we don't just post our own initiatives. We post things. Our community connectors are always out there. Sharon and Courtney looking for new and interesting things to do. So take a look at that. We have Road Trip Close to Home, News 12, Mommy Poppins is great, the Newsday Lifestyle. Of course, I know most of you go on Long Island CSS and Friends. I love going on there and reading the conversations. And then there's all kinds of travel and leisure. So I'm excited about this. And I'm hoping that you will come along with us for this journey. Okay, Court.
All right. So
And
fun things.
now, wait. I have an introduction. And, Darlene was going to do a drum roll. So you ready? Let me introduce the queen of fun, Courtney Braun.
Wow. Well, I've never had that title before, but I'm honored to have it.
Queen of fun. I think people would agree.
I love to hear it. So as the queen of fun, here are some fun things that we can do now. So first of all is, if you're all here tonight, positive community connections. So we will continue to offer free initiatives that meet virtually from now and move to in-person this summer for fall, including Glee, crafting, yoga, and more. You can always visit our website calendar and connections page. This is something that we briefly spoke about last annual meeting. Are there so many features on that website that people don't know about? Aside from the calendar of events that we have, and we are starting to put in new things that are going on, right? For example, there is an autism dance class that we got the information for, and that's on the calendar with the information that you can contact, and you can join them virtually on Saturday mornings. So we're starting to put things that we are receiving back onto that calendar for you to have an easy place to find it. Our connections page has hundreds of local businesses who are what we call self-direction friendly. They understand our goals, our missions, and what it means to be accepting and understanding of a self-directed lifestyle. You can also go through there, you can plug in keywords such as bowling, right? Then bowling places will come up as self-directed friendly places in your area. So please, please, please don't forget to take advantage of those places. We would like to note that while we're doing our best to make those updates, we always recommend giving a phone call or an email to that location to say, hey, have your hours changed? What is your reopening plan, like Theresa was just saying, and so on, to make sure that you are set up for the best success when you go there. You can find us on social media. Our new pages will be announced soon. That is my plan, to get all of that done this weekend, so that you will be able to still, if you're already following us on Facebook and Instagram, you will still be following our pages. It would just be coming up as Positive Community Connections for you, as opposed to PBS Community Foundation. You can always see what's going on and find photos and video clips of our initiatives and old pictures. It really is a great place. And also, by you interacting with those posts, there is more of a chance that people in our community will be able to see them, and you never know who is looking for something to join. And again, we are always open to suggestions for what activities you want to explore. Hope, I know that you want the Nassau crafting. It is on our minds. We know it for sure. But please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at Courtney at pbscommunityfoundation.org to share. Obviously, that will be changing. It will probably just be Courtney at positivecommunityconnections.org. Again, the Long Island CSS and Friends Facebook group. And if Hope is still here, Hope deserves a little bit of a round of applause for that. She does an incredible job at endlessly sharing information, commenting, asking questions, right? Things that we want to know before we're going into there, which is a great resource. Sorry, I just had someone in the waiting room. I'm letting in. And Friends Chat is on Facebook. So Friends Chat is really, really interesting. It is a group of moms who decided during the pandemic, hey, we need something that's going to happen every night for our young adults to be able to participate in. And they are still hosting their different meetups every single night. So I know that sometimes they had a DJ coming on in from Caffeine Academy. I know that some nights they're doing dance classes. I think they have game nights some nights. So please feel free to reach out. Something that I think that sometimes we get so stuck in, and I was talking to this with my friend the other day, is we have this idea of, oh, I do all these things with one place. Maybe I shouldn't go somewhere else. Go ahead. That is one of the coolest things about networking, making friends, and trying new things, is that you're able to explore those boundaries and, again, make those positive community connections. So maybe you show up to something and you say, hey, do you want to try going to yoga this week with me through PCC? Maybe that person says yes. Right then and there, not only did you network with someone with similar interests, but you shared similar information with someone. Again, please, please, please visit your local park or your beach. If you're on this call, chances are you are from Long Island. We are no more than 15 to 20 minutes away from any body of water. Whether you're driving a little bit further to the ocean, or if you're heading over to the Sound, or you want to take a ride out east, there are so many beautiful, beautiful parks and things that are going on there. You can listen to your favorite music, your podcast, or more while enjoying nature and being safe. We're noticing that people are starting to pack their own picnics for an afternoon out on the town if you prefer not to dine indoors. Northport Village, right, is a great one right on the harbor. Go ahead, stop at your favorite place, take out food, tell your friends, hey, meet me at this time. I'll be over here in this color blanket. And lastly, submit for your New York State Access Pass. So everyone on this call is eligible to receive an Access Pass, which allows you entry into New York State parks and recreational sites. So the only thing that, depending on holiday weekends, there may be a fee per vehicle, but everyone here is eligible to apply to one and to receive one. So this way you're not paying daily fees to access those New York State passes if needed. So there is a link there as well that when we do share these, you can go ahead, you can fill that out and get yourself an Access Pass. Go to the beach. Don't pay $8 per car. You're entitled to go and enjoy it for fun, which is what we want to make sure we're doing as we're accessing our community. Oh, John, I got a question for you. I'll send to you.
Okay.
It's our man Nicholas saying, so how do I start my own class? Something that I know we always talk about. I always
It's
tell
on
you.
the radar, Nicholas. I haven't forgotten about you.
Yes, yes. So I'm just catching up really quickly. People are saying some great things as well. That they are in Friends Chat. It's very, very similar. They love it. West Meadow Beach, absolutely. Friendship Circle is also a thing that Gabby is sharing with us. Thank you all so much. So Theresa, are we ready to introduce our Reopening Small Steps pandemic plan? So this one is, we're not going to be able to do this right now because we don't have enough time. But these were worksheets that we can send to everyone through an email. And it's a great opportunity to sit down with your circle of support, your family, your friends, and say, hey, let's really figure out a plan here. Who's in my bubble? What am I comfortable doing in the community? What do I prefer to do at home? What's something that I miss? Maybe how can I start to incorporate that? And what have you already changed in your schedule to adapt to these restrictions? If you are anything like me, change is hard, right? And sometimes we need to allow ourselves a little bit of flexibility in our schedule to enjoy things that do make us happy. So being able to look at there and say, hey, listen, I already grew in this area, right? You're that flower of that positive community connection. You grew in one area. It's okay to be able to allow those things back into your lifestyle, and you have already overcome some things that are definitely hard. So we also have a worksheet that will be sent out for a post-pandemic plan. So what kind of activities would you like to do while accessing your community? How would you use your safety skills to stay safe and healthy? Who can support you in this plan? And how can you remain flexible, right? We want to make sure that we're keeping that flexibility there of always being prepared, right? I saw someone said earlier, oh, their Stop and Shop doesn't require a mask. But know what? Maybe we'll have one on us just in case, right? Being able to adapt to those plans and everything like that to allow us to have more flexibility. So, Theresa, this is what we're talking about, right? I think you went on mute, Theresa. You did. There you go.
Yes, I am unmuted now.
So I'm going to start to unmute some of our self-directed friends who are here right now.
Yes, now.
Oh,
I think your cat just visit.
Oh, probably.
Roseanne, I asked you something else in the private chat. And if you look at the private chat, you could see what I said.
Okay. And oh, Courtney, Tal just wanted to, well, I think before we start and open it up to everyone, Tal wanted to give us a word here.
Go ahead, Tal. Tal, you're still muted.
Tal, you're muted.
Tal sent me a little message.
Okay. No, what I wanted to hear first all the questions and let people ask and be free to.
We'll see you after then, Tal.
Right.
We'll see you after. So is everyone unmuted?
Hi, Robin.
We are very interested. We are very interested to hear from you.
What's up, Bob?
Hi.
So let's see. What I'll do is I'll just go around and I'll call on people the way they're coming up on my screen. So Gina, what is something that you can do right now with your friends safely? FaceTime? It sounds like someone is like throwing boxes down their stairs. So Gina, did you say FaceTime?
FaceTime, yeah.
Okay, so Gina says FaceTime. Awesome. Tiff, what is something that you can do right now with your friends and feel safe?
Have lunch at a park.
Have lunch at a park. That is awesome.
Oh, Tiffany's here. Excuse me. Could we give a round of applause for our community, our PCC volunteer, Tiffany Redmond? Thank you for all you do, Tiffany.
Thanks.
Were you the one who put together those stuffed animal things for the?
That was Tiffany.
Hope, what is something that you can do right now in the community?
This meeting.
That's great. Hey, and I'm even going to say, you put in the chat earlier that you went to the Starbucks for the first time today, right?
Yeah, because I had an appointment and I was able to go with my staff, and we went afterwards. We went to Starbucks, and I went to deposit my bottles at the supermarket.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Excuse
so
me,
there definitely are things.
Hope, could I ask you a question? Were there people in Starbucks not wearing masks?
I didn't pay attention. I think when they were eating and drinking, they weren't.
They were when they were sitting down, right?
Yeah, and we sat away from people, and my staff still wore a mask, but I took it off to drink my drink.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Awesome.
Oh, hi,
So,
Hi.
yeah, we have Michelle.
Ruthann, did you see my chat?
John.
Okay.
Ruthann?
She
John?
gave you a thumbs up, Hope. She's replying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everyone once we share. So, Michelle, would you like to go ahead and share something that you can do in your community right now?
If we're going back to normal, the COVID-19 pandemic is going to be end next year.
Well, it's ending soon.
So, Nicholas, Michelle, we'll come back to you. Nicholas, what is something that you can do in your community right now?
If we're going back to normal, the COVID-19 pandemic is going to be end next year.
Thank you for the update. Nicholas gives the best updates. I do appreciate them. All right, Michelle, what do you think? What is something you can do in your community right now?
Go to the park or the beach with my friends.
That's great. Going to the park, getting the beach with your friends. Awesome job. Nicholas Pusateri, Nick P. What do you think?
Probably some traveling.
Oh,
That is
that's a good
awesome.
one.
And I'm also going to say, and doing your awesome impressions that I'm so fortunate enough to hear all the time, such as Niagara Falls, one of my favorites.
Oh, I'd like to hear it.
What do you think, John?
Ben?
You don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's okay.
Nicholas is being
Pal?
called.
You call me pal? Why, I haven't heard that word for years. You know, bud, I was once a tramp like you. Oh, congratulations! It wasn't always thus. I can look back to the days of yore when I was a very happy married man. And one day that wreck came and destroyed forever all the happiness I'd ever known. I'll never forget that day. I just came home from the graveyard shift, and there was a note on a pillow. What did it say? Oh, it was one of those cold-blooded notes. Dear Mo, I'm running away with Larry. I was obsessed with the idea that I must find him. The trail led me to Pittsburgh. I found it. I missed him by 3 days when I got there, and I swore right there in Pittsburgh I'd find him and have my revenge. Now on with the chase. Miami, Dallas, New Orleans.
Very nice. I love it.
So going. Nicholas, you can give me Niagara Falls later. Slowly I turn.
Okay. Slowly I turn. Step by step. Inch by inch. I walked up to him and I smashed him. I poked him. I hit him. I cut him to pieces and then I knocked him down.
Oh, step by step. That goes
Nicholas.
right along with
Thank you,
small
Nicholas.
steps. I love it. Give him a hand.
Plus, I have to say, I love the
Okay.
full, this is the first time I ever got the full performance,
Oh,
and I
that's
love it.
beautiful. It goes right along with the presentation. How about Michelle?
So Michelle just went. I just asked Matt Grogan to unmute, and then we have Gabby. Matt, you ready?
Got it. Yep.
Okay.
So, what do you want us to know, Courtney? What's like what we can do right now?
Right now, Matt Grogan, what's something you can do?
Pretty much, like, I found out that a lot of the streaming services have their own like group parties right now. We can basically do it on Disney Plus now. Netflix has it, and also Facebook. So there's different ways how you can like do different events and like watch like movies and everything, kind of like that. I know Facebook is having a lot of like old school like concerts off of Facebook Live, believe it or not.
I think we're looking to get back to normal. So.
Oh, back to normal?
Yeah. What did you do yesterday afternoon?
Oh yeah, I had a picnic with my friends yesterday from PL.
Met for pickup.
Picnic.
That is awesome, Matt. Those are some great examples. So I like it how you gave an example of something virtual plus something in person that still makes you happy. Great job. And we have Gabby up next.
Stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, that's great, right? So I like the way that you really took this things that we can do right now with friends. And I love it how you emphasized your idea of safety first. Right?
Yes.
So I think that you are one step ahead of the game, Gabby, remembering that importance. So awesome job. Really quickly, we're going to give a virtual round of applause for our volunteers who I just prompted to give us answers. So great job, everyone. So our next one are, what are your future small steps? So if you want to, just for time's sake, you can go ahead and you can put an example in the chat if you would like of something that you look forward to doing when you feel safe, right? So for me, I look forward to going to Europe when it is safe. And even though it's saying that you can go right now, I'm going to wait a little bit until I feel safe going there. So there's an example. I'm thinking very big right now, but it's something that I would like to do. Nicholas wants to go to Australia. I did know that. Some people are saying that I don't think I'll ever feel safe, and that is 100% fine, right? It's noticing what we are okay with and allowing ourselves to be able to advocate for that. Have a family barbecue, baseball games. These are all great examples. Matt's going to Boston, right? Love it, love it, love it. So a park cleanup, amazing. I know that Hope was really looking forward to going to Disney, and my fingers are crossed for her that sometime soon she will be able to go. People talking about vacationing and travel. So if you haven't noticed, we all have a common theme, right? Something in common, that there are things that we do wish to do, but we are prioritizing our safety there. And that is, again, some of the most important. Warner Brother World for Nicholas.
What we'd really love you to do is go to the link on our website, maybe print these out and sit down and make your plan and talk to the folks who surround you in your circle of support and really advocate for yourself about what you want to do and how are you going to make that happen. I think it was Gina that said go to the movies. I mean, my daughter, they rented for $75 a movie theater. It was so bizarre to sit in there and be like, in the whole movie theater, only 6 of us. I really look forward to going into a movie theater and getting popcorn and having everyone there. We all have things that we're looking forward to. So I think it's up to all of us to make it known to the people around us what we really want to plan out.
Good job. And then in conclusion, Theresa and I are going to, when we post this, just have a few more examples of reopening resources for everyone to follow. But again, we just wanted to show everyone that we are looking forward to our future goals in a positive way while connecting to our community and really focusing on supporting each other and an emphasis on safety. So thank you for allowing us a little bit of time to quickly go through something that we think that is important to talk about, right?
Yes,
Reaching out to someone.
Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure. And if anyone has any questions about anything from membership or the financial, anything that you saw, now is the time to ask. We'd like to totally open the floor